Jake here with Bond Performance. I've been building these for a long time, but I haven't really made a video explaining exactly what this part is and what it does for your Mk7 or 7.5 GTI. So I'm going to walk you guys through what I consider to be the ultimate OEM plus exhaust system. Now, it's not a full exhaust system. It's a downpipe like you would see advertised by other manufacturers, plus what I call an OEM Fitment resonated midpipe. So the OEM Fitment resonated midpipe replaces a portion of the factory catback, which means you do have to make a cut through the factory catback, but it's fully reversible thanks to the design and the reducers I use. So let me show you. So this catted downpipe is still in the works. It's hot, so I've got my heat sinks still V-banded to them. When this exhaust ships out, it'll be missing this and this. These are just tools for the fabrication process. So this is the upper downpipe. This V-band would connect here to the lower portion of the downpipe. Now, some people get confused because other manufacturers will sometimes call the lower piece of their downpipe a midpipe, which really isn't correct because a downpipe is a downpipe is a downpipe. Some manufacturers make it all in one piece, some make it in 6 pieces. It's just their preference on how modular they want the system to be and what options they offer. Mine is 2 pieces. It fits in a smaller box that way is really the main reason, plus easier installation. But having a catted downpipe is the best way to stay not only respectful of those around you, but as OEM plus as possible. These EPA approved cats are nearly odorless. They're 49 state approved for 2016 and older cars. They have a Gen 2 GESI EPA cat coming out. They'll be good for 2017 through current model year. But those are not fully released yet, so eagerly awaiting that. I believe that cat is rated for, it's either 500 or 550 horsepower. 300 to 500 horsepower is what GESI rates it for. That's a 4-inch outer body. The ultra high output is 500 to 850 horsepower. It's a 4.5-inch body. I've never really had a request for it, but I don't believe my weld fixture would accommodate one just based on the way the piping lays up in there. So that, I don't think I'll ever add that as an option, but just for those curious, the ratings on these cats, this is the optional EPA approved cat. And then there's also a G Sport, which is I think it's rated for the same power by GESI. Made in North America, aka Canada. So good stuff there. Anyway, back to the downpipe. So this piece and this piece equals downpipe. This is what makes all the difference in the world if you're going to keep your stock suitcase muffler or use an OEM plus muffler like the TCR for the 7.5 or the CSS for the Mk7. So a lot of people just automatically assume, well, it's a lot smaller resonator, that vibrant resonator versus stock. How could it possibly deepen the tone and make the exhaust note quieter? Well, it's all about the internal construction. So the factory resonator is basically straight all the way through. There's a few holes here and there and some slots, but very little of the airflow is directed from the inner chamber to the outer chamber. So with the stock downpipe, they engineered this to be effective, but with a high flow cat, getting rid of 2 very restrictive cats, the flow dynamics are much different, and you need the internal construction seen here with a fully perforated core. So especially at low RPMs where the Mk7 can be very boomy, a lot of airflow is able to exit the inner chamber and enter the outer where there's fiberglass packing to help absorb some of that noise. So this piece, originally when I built the weld fixture, I cut here. I've since shortened it up a little bit. There's this big long piece of straight tubing. I was unnecessarily having to add a piece in there to match the end of the fixture. So after I built a few of them, I stopped making it this full length. It really makes no difference because each of you will be individually cutting this piece from your factory cat back should you install one of these. And it's as simple as, before you take apart anything, the inlet is built to the same spec as stock. That's a known location under the car. So all you have to do is hold the new piece up under the original, mark it with a Sharpie, and make your cut. Whether you remove the exhaust to make that cut or do it with it on the car, you've got a 3-inch clamp supplied with the kit, properly sized. The Mk7 and 7.5 have a different size tubing in this section, as does the GLI. The GLI makes a different angle, so there is an option that I offer for each of those cars: Mk7, Mk7.5, and the GLI MQB. So everybody's included in there. Here's just the weld fixture that those are built on. So if you're looking for a deep, sporty tone without being obnoxiously loud, just loud enough that other enthusiasts will notice, the Karens of the world won't, you're not going to piss off your neighbors, and you want the performance benefits of really 2/3 of your exhaust being 3-inch high flow 304L stainless steel. These are extruded 90-degree bends. The only mandrel bend in this system is this U-bend here, but it's still a very high quality, smooth U-bend. Of course, high quality V-bands, and as always, back purged TIG welds. So this system will polish up and look as good 10 years from now as it does the day you put it on your car. The rust will never be an issue. If you try to stick a magnet to any of this, it won't stick. It's all true stainless steel, where the factory resonator is 409, so you'll start to get surface rust and corrosion on it. This one's pretty clean. It was only on my car for a very short time. But yeah, I just wanted to give kind of an in-depth look at what the OEM Fitment resonated midpipe is, why I use it, and why you should consider it for your OEM Plus build and or goals. I don't have a Mk7 sitting here. I've got this Mk6R. This project's been kind of stalled. I was waiting on some parts for it. They're here, but I had been waiting on this cat to show up for the better part of a month. So I'm gonna knock this downpipe out tonight and have it on its way to the owner first thing Monday morning. I guess one last touch on this subject. The best way I could describe this tone would be the difference between if you did just a downpipe with everything else stock versus both the midpipe and the downpipe. The best way I've described it would be a rental spec BMW, like a complete base model 3 Series versus an M car. So you have a lot deeper, sportier tone, not necessarily much louder. It's actually, as most perceive it, a little bit quieter thanks to the sound absorption, in the larger chamber it's being utilized in the resonator itself, but that deeper tone actually carries a little further. So it depends on how you look at it. But in the car, and as far as harsh tones, this is the quieter option. Obviously, the louder the muffler, the more significant difference you'll be able to tell. As I've noted in the video and the thread, how to get the sound you want, going over the details of how the muffler and resonator play together. So I won't get too in-depth into that. You can check out that video or the thread for more details on that. But if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm trying to hit that 1,000 mark, and looking forward to it. We're getting there slowly but surely, and hopefully this video helps you guys make a decision. If obviously you guys are going to want to hear clips with examples of this. I don't have great clips on my YouTube channel. There are a few, but they're a little short and sweet. I don't want to ask customers to beat on their car leaving after it's been sitting for a while. So normally the better videos come from customers themselves posting them on YouTube. So if you are interested, there are videos out there. If you search Bond Performance and then Mk7, Mark 7.5, or GLI, there's a video for each respective car, as their mufflers all sound distinctively different with this setup, and you can make the judgment call on whether or not it's right for you. I highly recommend wearing headphones when listening to exhaust clips. That's the closest you're going to get to real life, but obviously hearing them in person would be best. So I think I've covered it all. If you guys have any questions, I can always do a Q&A follow-up to this. And next time I do an install in-house, I'll definitely grab footage of that, or at least some pictures. But haven't done one in-house for a while. This is by far the most popular option, this combo here. Really a good value, given that it's something anyone can just bolt on their driveway, and no special tools required. I mean, everybody's got something to cut with. You could cut with a hacksaw if you really had to. One of those chain cutters from the hardware store, Amazon, Sawzall, or even have a muffler shop make the cut, which I really wouldn't recommend if you can avoid it. The big selling point to this is being able to install this at home by yourself without trusting a side-of-the-road muffler shop, kind of fly-by-night operation. I've seen horror stories of them damaging cars, even just trying to get them on the lift. So I avoid other mechanics working on my stuff, and I kind of encourage people to DIY this stuff if they're confident in their ability to do so safely. So hit the subscribe button, let me know what you guys think, and search the YouTubes for the video clips. Thanks for watching.